So in this episode of Chop It Up, we're going to be talking about Sue Grafton's latest release, which is X. Book number 24. Where's all my information? Book number 24 in Sue Grafton's Kinsey Millhone series X. Like, why would I get all that messed up when y'all know good and damn well that this is one of my absolute favorite series and favorite authors? Like, what's wrong with me? Anyway, as I was saying, this is book number 24 in Sue Grafton's Kinsey Millhone mystery series, and I gotta say I absolutely love this book to a point. As book number 24, I have to say that this series has been a long-standing journey for me over these years, and I am getting saddened by the fact that we're slowly closing in at the end of the alphabet with Z, which is technically it's going to be 4 years before we actually see that book. Anyway, this release came out in August, and I just flew right through it. I enjoyed it immensely, except for a lot of the anticlimactic elements that were displayed at the very end. But let's just go ahead and chop this book up as of right now. This particular entry in the Kinsey Millhone series actually has 3 running narratives. So there's 3 crimes that Kinsey Millhone is working her way towards a conclusion for each. So the first narrative, or the first case that Kinsey Millhone has to go against, consists of this lady, this divorced woman, who is trying to sort of construct this heist to steal a painting inside of her ex-husband's basement. The painting is worth millions. At one point, her and her husband, they had this lavish lifestyle, which he kept most of the money during the divorce. Now that she is broke as hell and she needs some cash to keep up her furs and her jewelry, she is gonna steal this painting because she knows it's worth a lot overseas, and she ends up tricking Kinsey Millhone into helping her, form this operation. Now, the second narrative consists of something that's a lot more domestic or closer to Kinsey's home itself, but leading into it, it's a lot larger than that. But what happens is that next door to Kinsey's home, which if you're not familiar with this series, he actually rents out this garage that was remodeled to be an apartment next door to another man. His name is Henry, so Henry's her landlord. But next door to them, that little combo they got going on, next door to them there is an elderly couple that just moved into this house. They seemingly moved in under the radar, so nobody really knew who they were or where they came from. But underneath all that, there's some suspicious activities going on with those neighbors, and Kinsey, being the high big snoop that she is, she decides to sneak, snoop, sniff, and some other S word to figure out exactly what's going on with these neighbors. And what triggers her sort of suspicions about these guys is that she sees them walking down the street throwing their trash into the dumpsters or into the trash bins of her neighbors. So it's like, why are you doing that? Now, the third narrative consisted of Kinsey facing this crazy killer. I think that story in itself is probably a lot more commonplace with a Kinsey Millhone novel, considering this is crime fiction, and with crime fiction you would have some kind of murder that would generate the whole interest of the book. But that would be the situation in this B story. But what happens is that from the previous book, W is for Wasted, one of Kinsey's trainers, back when she was first starting to be a private investigator, he left her a lockbox filled with all these documents, and this was done before he was killed. Picking up from where it left off, Kinsey is getting a phone call from his wife. His wife has been contacted by the IRS. The IRS are looking for some particular documents that her husband supposedly has, and she can't seem to find them. So she reaches out to Kinsey Millhone, who has the lockbox that her husband gave her in the previous book. Deeper in that lockbox, she uncovers a piece of paper that has a list of numbers on it, and these are coded numbers. Kinsey Millhone, girl, she is one of the top-notch detectives there is. However, she ends up enlisting her neighbor or her landlord to decode the number, because he's an elderly man, he loves numbers, he loves puzzles, and bam, he was like, look, I'll help you out right here. Now, upon discovering all that, Kinsey Millhone, she goes about her business investigating each of these previous 2 cases. And what happens is, at one point, she comes back and finds that her office has been completely trashed by someone who is also, of course, looking for the exact same documents that she found inside of that false bottom in that lockbox. Now, you would think that with 3 running stories that this was gonna be just this explosive book that just was gonna take Kinsey Millhone all over the damn place. But in fact, I think it was probably one of Grafton's weaker novels. Weaker in the sense that, like I said, I found a lot of the resolutions with each of these stories very, very weak. and anticlimactic. However, Kinsey still shines so brightly to me. Like, I absolutely love her voice. It is undeniable how much I identify with her voice. No, I'm not a private investigator, girl. One day I can be on that ass, but you know what I'm saying. But like, I still identify with Kinsey Millhone for a number of different reasons. I just love her you know, she's so honest with herself. She's so forward. You know, she says exactly what she means and means what she says, and I absolutely love that, because, you know, even despite all that, she has her soft spots as well. And you know, I just really identify with that, and that was exactly what caught me, you know, in that first book. Is that, damn it, I'm reading about this lady, and I'm like, she like me, baby. She just be ready to go. Like, we gonna have to get your ass together. So yes, I did enjoy my time with Kinsey, and to be like a little bit honest, I think that Grafton has kind of softened Kinsey just a little bit too much, because she was a lot more brute earlier in the series. But I think it seemed like, almost like when Grafton get these letters from other fans who are like, can you slow Kinsey down? Can you tone her down? I'm sorry. Could you, you know, make her not curse and all that stuff? It's like, sometimes I feel like Grafton is listening. Grafton, do not listen to these fans that's telling you to tell Kinsey not to curse and to tone her down. That's not cool. Don't do it. Don't do it. I like Kinsey the way she is. But, you know, at the same time, if you take it in context of the story, it does take place in the late 80s at this point, and Kinsey is slowly maturing as a woman, pushing towards her 40s, so that could be a factor as well. So despite all that, my resounding view of this is that Kinsey Millhone is still in fashion in X. It's her circumstances that drags her down. Now what I want to do is just kind of get into some of what I feel like maybe because, you know, with me, I go into books with an open mind, even books that I've always loved, you know, but I just go into an open mind, and sometimes I pick up on these little things that maybe it's just me. But, you know, with this book particular, there's some things that I'm questioning about toward the end of this book. I'm wondering, is each of these three narratives, are they pieces of cutting room floor material that Grafton decided to just push all together in one book? And then another part of me is wondering if each of these three stories is sort of like pushed together to make a display of the classic makings of Kinsey, you know, as a private investigator. So I'm a little like, I don't know exactly what she's trying to do, but is she doing something? Something inside of me is telling me that Grafton is preparing for a whole different direction with the next two books, and this is sort of like some stuff she's ushering out of the way. And I mean ushering out of the way as in regards that I found these cases to be kind of weak, or their resolutions to be weak. So, you know, we'll see where we go from this point. As always, I absolutely love Kinsey Millhone any damn way, so it don't even matter. Like, Kinsey Millhone can go and investigate a damn flagpole for fingerprints or something, and I'm just like, girl, let's see what is on it. Come on, girl, come on, sister, what is on top of that flagpole? Let me see. But yeah, that is it. If you have not read X by Sue Grafton and you are a fan of this series, then you need to take your ass to Kroger's, Walgreens carry book steals. My Walgreens don't carry no books no more. Walgreens, Kroger's, Walgreens, Walmart, or just get it off Amazon and get this book. I love you so much, Sue Grafton. You know, I don't say that a lot on these videos, but yes, thank you so much for creating Kinsey. But anyway, this and so much more of what I've just expressed here on this camera can and is, it could be in my chopped words, featured on my blog post that you can find the link down below. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. And does it feel like my energy is low? I feel like I'm talking in like this trade voice, but you know, I don't know. Girl, I gotta go to the dollar store. I'm trying to make this video as fast as possible, just because I know that if I don't make it now, it's gonna take a long time for me to get my ass running this camera again. But yes, I gotta go to the dollar store, girl. I'm gonna see y'all later. Bye.